Hello, I'm drinking Trillium's Legroom. So for many years, Headroom was the most popular special, rarely made double IPA from Trillium, and that one um, is a little bit harsh and resinous. They say this one is a little bit softer and milder version of that. I guess I don't know if it's a totally different beer. I think it's Citra Mosaic and Headroom is Mosaic and Galaxy. Um, but I'm not totally sure on that one. This is canned 12, or wait, no. Yeah, 12, 11 days ago, something around there. I've never had it before. It's 8% alcohol. And I used to always get Headroom every year, years ago, and I would do reviews on here, and I would act like I really liked it, but then eventually I was like, this is just really harsh. So maybe this one is a little more palatable. Let's get into it. And yeah, it's not scary hazy. I mean, it is very hazy, but for a big Trillium super hoppy beer, it's not like when I was pouring it, I could sort of see through the stream a bit. So there we go. It is, and it's also not extremely pale. It's got a little color going on there, just orange, and it has some head. Not gonna last very long though. Yeah, not very thick. That's the Trillium style, but I'm getting lots of really nice aromas. Like before I even bring it close to my face, the second I pour it. So that's Trillium's big things. They can, I think, make some really great big aromas in their beers. But the drinking experience isn't always the most pleasant. We'll see. Yeah, it smells very nice. It's creamsicle, it's pineapple, it's peach, guava, I guess, mango, all that stuff. All the best tropical fruits. It smells fantastic. Yeah, Headroom, sometimes it would be overdone in a way that it would just smell too vegetal and spicy and minerally. This one's not that way. It's bright and fruity and explosively so. In a way that it doesn't smell like beer. Whew. Still packs a punch. A little chalky, very textured. And the main thing is that there's a huge amount of polyphenols in here. These antioxidants that create this tannic, bitter sort of quality. Um, and just one sip of this dries out my tongue a lot. Like sucking on some grape skin that still has all that chalky, tannic stuff on it. Um, but flavor is really nice. Hopefully, it doesn't get too boozy. Got a substantial body to it, but it's not really because of all that textured, sort of oily coating of the tongue. It doesn't necessarily feel that super soft to me. Um, and there's a little bit of a booziness just from the second sip in the throat. 8%. I guess that is a little strong, but that's one thing I notice is sometimes, especially just double IPAs, like I can really notice the booziness. I don't know if it sometimes it has to do with like all those the polyphenol stuff happening. Yeah, it's pretty thick. It's not super thick. It's not. It's just sweet enough. It's not too sweet that it's syrupy. But this is one beer where I know that once this gets warm and flat, it's gonna be a lot less pleasant to drink. But I think the flavor and aroma are great. Now it's turning a little bit more sticky, icky, dank on the tongue, floral, honey type stuff. Just flavor crystals and some resinous sort of qualities happening. Um, Maybe getting a little bit piney. but I'm quite positive this is Citra Mosaic. It's definitely Citra type stuff happening, but it's just, if they could do this in a way to make it so the feel was a little more pleasant, but it's kind of hard to make a gigantic aroma like this without having an insane amount of polyphenols in the beer. Those are the flavor crystals. That's the the sticky icky part of cannabis buds. It sticks to your fingers and all that. That is the active ingredient or the active thing that makes these smell and taste so good. But it is a sip or one sip, and you could just sit there and taste it for the next 10 minutes. I could even maybe I should do an experiment. Take one sip and see how long I can taste it. Like a beer like this it's just over the top. If you want something just explosive in your face, this is what I would call like a beer festival beer. I should have been talking. I just made up that category right now, but it makes sense. Something where you can just have 2 ounces of it literally, and that will get you the idea of the beer. I don't really like drinking beers like that very much anymore these days. Like for me now, this kind of beer would be a blender beer. Add it to some IPA that maybe is softer and milder, or it's kind of missing a little bit of a kick, and make something that's a little bit more palatable. And now, once I let it linger in the back of my throat or back of my mouth and stuff, it's like, maybe it's getting a little more vegetal stuff happening. Leafy, piney, woody. Definitely a woodsy, not quite incensey, but more like wood sap, that sort of stuff. And some of that is getting in the aroma now too. A bit more perfumey, cologne-y. But still very fruity and tropical. Well, that's one thing, is when these beers switch from all the bright fruits and they get too earthy and soapy and bitter. I don't know if this one's really going to get so far that it's all that intense resin stuff is counteracting the bright fruits. Yeah, it still smells great. And I feel like this is what this beer is supposed to be. Over the past 6 years or so, I've had a lot of Trillium beers where like there was something off. They weren't hazy enough, which was wrong, or they're just like something that was not very nice. Like the last batch of Congress Street I got last month wasn't great. I've had a batch of Melcher I got during lockdown, and I guess it was 2010, that was not hazy at all. Just something wasn't quite right. Batch of Pier, but most of the time they do really great aromatic beers with really good aromas, just not worrying about head and feel and palatability and the overall experience of the beer very much. But if you want to punch in the face with some really nice aromas and flavors, go for this one. Hard to rate it. Bye.